live in a society that still compares the performance of homeschool children to public or private school children, and just to see where they are on grade, maybe to see where their strengths are, their weaknesses.
Just said, Randy, I have a question for you. How do you deal with unsupportive family members that don't support homeschooling?
Like socialization. So what, you think I should put my kids in classrooms where they're horizontally socialized with students all their own age, and then they get moved up every year according to that? Not my kids. My kids are vertically socialized. Do you believe that he placed your child in your life for a purpose? If he did, he says to the parents, train them up in the way they should. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a good week so far. Hey, today we are going to do something a little different. Teaching Tips Q&A. We had a few questions come in. If you have questions while we're talking, please be sure to post. We sure do welcome everybody who's in the app and everybody who's watching by Facebook Live. The app we got some exciting things working in there. I know they changed some groups this week and kind of adjusted some things. So awesome. They do a great job in there. Okay.
Hey, Jessica. Hey, Lauren. Jumping on Facebook. Hey, Jess. My friend Jess. Whitney.
Is it Barb or Whitney?
It's Whitney.
Whitney.
E. Barb.
Whitney E. Barb. Okay.
Hello, Whitney E. Barb.
Aniston.
Yeah. I've seen Aniston's name. Where have I seen Aniston? I see Aniston's name a lot. Hi, Aniston. Sometimes, like, we see everybody's names and we start to, like, hear, like, I don't know, we become friends with these people. Even though we've never met you all, it feels like we're friends.
I know, and then we go to a convention and there will be people walking through, but we know your faces. You're like, got that awkward look like, man, I know you. Man, I know you.
I feel like it's reviews. I know Aniston through approving reviews.
She said she asks a lot of questions and posts a lot.
Good. That is why I recognize it. Nice. I'm going to have to go put a face with the name now.
Okay, Whitney, she said good on her name.
Good job. So, well, because we said her whole name.
Yeah. So is it Whitney? Or is that your first name, Whitney?
And Jeff,
I'm assuming it is.
My friend too. We are the GIF kids. Yes.
Okay.
GIF kids.
GIF kids.
We had an argument about that this morning in the office with another coworker. We have this argument all the time, and it's just, you know.
Yeah.
I'm always right.
So we got some questions.
Yes. So, Sarah asked, are there any more details on expected release date of God's Design for Life, Heaven, and Earth beginners? We are starting our school year in July. Thanks.
It might be available by July. I think it's in like the final stages of design and author review. So yeah, it may be available by July. So it's going to definitely be in the catalog. If it's not like in June, it'd be I think in July, but you wouldn't be that far off. So
awesome. And Whitney said that Whitney is her first name, and then E. Barb is her last name.
Oh, that's cool.
I was thinking E was the middle initial.
Gotcha.
So the whole last name.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Whitney.
Any new Bible Creepiest series coming out?
I mean, we're always looking at reviews, and so I don't know of anything completely in contract, but I know that there's stuff kind of with editors. There's stuff coming in all the time and being reviewed, but I don't have anything that I'm putting in the catalog just yet.
For a lot of people jumping in on Facebook saying hey. So hi Laura, hi Anna, Phyllis, Amanda, Tiffany,
so
Kristen.
today is more about actually not so much pushing a video, but just having a good time connecting with our friends on Facebook
to
and in the
friends. App. Hi Missy. I also recognize Missy Cap's name. Yes.
I recognize Anna W. And
that too. Laura Wiersma, Libby Pritchett.
The app a little bit more. I think the names that are in the app, we see the app is a smaller ratio, so you have more connection with us in the app.
Right. Yeah. And okay, so next question. Sarah, which MapQuest courses are being revamped with suggested daily schedules or masterbook style? The States book?
Well, eventually all of them will be revamped. They are all going to appear in the catalog as is. The first one will probably be the Map Trek book. Will be brought under kind of the master books format, and then from there we'll do a child's geography, and go through that series. The Star Spangled State book that's available, we actually just kind of we stumbled across the DVD that had a 200 and some page student book in it. And so we went through that, and when we get a book, what we do is we go through it and look at things like, is there anything that might be offensive? Pictures of ghosts, calling Brigham Young a religious leader that maybe puts him on the same level as Billy Graham or the Apostle Paul, those type of things. And so we make some modifications to remove things and kind of clean it up. It's not fully a master books product, but we have kind of cleaned it up and purged it so that our audience, we'd be comfortable selling it. Yeah. So that is pretty close. The digital part of that is pretty close to being available now. So you're probably going to start to see the Knowledge Quest fall more in the fall, beginning of 2021, but availability is now.
Awesome. Hello, my NDISU. That's another thing.
That's Vanderloo. M. Vanderloo. Is that who you're talking about?
I can't read that far.
Yeah, that's a V. Vanderloo.
Oh. No, it's not.
It's M. Vanderloo.
No way.
No wonder you can't pronounce.
No, I'm going to pull it up so we can see it more on my phone.
Where?
But it's not. It's on the very bottom.
Oh, no. I'm looking right there.
No, I was like, wait, that is not the word.
My ND.
See, that's another thing that we have to do is for me, like decoding all these people's names to figure out who they are.
Yeah, it's harder in the app.
Yeah, a little bit. But hello. Hi, Taylor.
Teresa May.
Why did I say Taylor? I am.
You're off today.
So off.
Okay.
Hey, Kasha. Doug and Amanda. Okay, another question.
Anna Walter is here. Rick and Anna Walter.
I
don't think I want her watching. Is there any way to block her?
Why?
Because she does these nasty memes of me.
No, today.
Did you hear what I said? I called it a meme.
That's why I'm doing this. Because today, Anna made these GIFs of him, and I was like, hey, Dad, you finally made it in life. Like, you have GIFs. So.
I'm not doing it. Like, now I'm afraid to move or say anything. I just sit here
screenshots
like a nerd.
and makes GIFs.
All my fancy movements go everywhere.
There you go. That was a lot of them. I'm going to go out of the screen so you can just do that alone.
Okay.
Okay, another question. Any movement on the Spanish curriculum? A Spanish curriculum?
No comprehende. Not yet. How do you
Nobody's
say it?
submitted yet.
Yeah. I keep giving my idea, but I haven't had any bite. And
bite.
anybody
He doesn't
bites.
have enough time with English, let alone starting a Spanish curriculum. So
you don't want me speaking Spanish. Yeah.
Christina asks, what age is a child's geography for?
Child's geography is a multi-age curriculum. It's kind of designed to be done, I think it's in like sequences. So you can do it younger, you can do it older, but primarily we would probably say more of an upper elementary, junior high. I think there's 5 levels. And if you're familiar with Ann Voskamp, she wrote 1,000 Gifts. Speaks a lot at women's events and conferences.
See, the
perfect.
Whole Spanish, English thing. Yeah. I help him with his English. He helps me with my Spanish.
She wrote the first level, maybe the first 2 levels, but before she became famous for speaking and writing books for kind of as a Christian author, she was popular in the homeschool movement. I think she has 5 or 6 kids. Laura
Wiersma's jumping to the app. She was on Facebook and she just jumped to the app just to say hi on the app. Hi, Laura. And then Julie over on Facebook said, my 7-year-old just started with master books for math this spring, but she's doing basically only master books for everything except handwriting next year.
Awesome.
Thanks for sharing. Like we said, today's just kind of chill. We're just kind of hanging out and doing some questions.
What's the benefit of the app versus the Facebook group? I think you're going to see that unfold more and more. Alicia. Is that Alicia? Alicia. I think you're going to see that more and more. There will be exclusives that are part of the app that, like we do tomorrow, there's a Facebook, I think Anna is doing a Facebook craft session at noon on the app, and so we've been doing those. We probably will have a little bit more. We're still getting our bearings on the app, and as the community grows, kind of learning how to leverage the platforms. So I think with the app, one of the things you see is it's a more intimate group, and it tends if you've got an app and you're going there, it's not as easy, so to speak, as Facebook, because Facebook is always like they own your life. The app, you own the app, it doesn't own you.
I like that.
That was pretty good.
Good
job.
job.
So
high five and trophies.
that was good. So in that way, you click it, you're able to go through it, you can ask questions quick. We have a fantastic group of coaches in there. We have the chapel, which if you've got prayer requests, I tell you what, that's where I would post prayer requests. Jennifer has a ministry of prayer, and I, when there have been times that we've needed prayer, she would absolutely be somebody that I would ask to lift us up in prayer. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's definitely a benefit as well of the app. And the app really gives you, where in the Facebook group, there's one feed, right? We actually, like in the app, there's a chit chat group where we don't care if you talk about your kids and you talk about your husband and you talk about the dogs. In the Facebook group, in the Moms and Master Books, you only have one feed and it's so full, we have to limit conversations to just conversations about curriculum. With the app, we kind of get that you guys have, we're all like-minded people. We've come around kind of the curriculum and it brought us together. And so the chit chat group kind of gives the opportunity for people to connect, but it doesn't like clog the main feed. So we're able to do that. So I think the app gives us a ability to serve the community at a higher level.
Yeah. I had Stephanie is from Ireland. She said hello. So hello,
Hi, Stephanie from Ireland.
I'm curious to know what time it is in Ireland. Let us know.
I'm Irish too, I guess. So.
Yeah. Jessica corrected you and said it's not Facebook craft, it's just a live video on the app. So you must have said that they did like live Facebook crafts in the app.
Yeah, no. I don't know why Jessica would say that. It's a craft that they do in the app, Jessica. It's not a Facebook craft. Maybe we could email Jessica and explain that to her later.
Don't start telling people that. Emily said just joined on the app today, but the video such a troublemaker. Kept cutting. Emily said, just joined the app today, but the video kept cutting out there, so we switched back over. She said, hey from Emily, Jack, who is 5, Ellie, who's 3, and Ivy, Ivy's a really pretty name. Ivy, who's 3 months. We can't wait to get started with Master Books. Yay! We're excited for you. Heather said...
The app won't let me log in, but recognizes my account.
Took the words right out of my mouth. How did you know?
Heather, it doesn't. Do you know that it doesn't use the password for masterbooks.com? It was when you set it up. It was set up as a different one. Maybe you're trying to use the same email address but a different password. I don't know. Sometimes we have confusion because people think that the login to the masterbooks.com website and the Masterbooks app should coincide. They don't. They're two separate platforms.
Stephanie said it's 9:13 p.m. in Ireland, so they're wrapping the day up. We hope you had a great day in Ireland. We're having a great day here. We
are. It's going to be actually kind of a late day because we're participating. We're going to take turns. Tonight, the Teach Them Diligently conference is on. the online conference, and they kind of have a hall where you log in and you can visit vendor tables.
So it'd be like we're sitting here, and you guys, if you decide to visit the Master Books table, would pop up on FaceTime and then talk to us. So.
And then we say like, "Hi, can I answer any questions that you may have about Master Books?" And some of you we've met at conventions, and it's kind of like, "Hey, that's kind of cool." But that's tonight from 7 to 9 Central Standard Time. You're going to do the first hour. I'm doing the second hour. Yeah, coffee tonight.
So if you're registered, like, come say hey, come talk to me for the first hour. He'll be in the second hour. Just say hey, have a good time.
Yep.
And Vanderlei over in the app had asked. She said Adventures in Creation 2 and More Than Words 3 availability dates, and she said thanks. Hope you guys are doing great. We are doing great.
Yes. Adventures in Creation is called Adventures in the Physical World. The series name is Let's Talk Science. That will be available here in another. I know it's in design right now, and hopefully we can expedite that. But that should be available by June, July. Yes.
Okay.
More Than Words 3. I haven't had an anticipated release date. I know that's still editorial's department.
Our friend earlier, Whitney Ebarb, said, well, she's still our friend. Nothing's changed. But, we talked to her earlier, too. She said, I don't have a question, but we're new to Master Books and are loving it. We swapped mid-year in January. I have 7 kids, and 4 are school age. Your curriculum is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a big crew. We had 9.
We had
Not
9.
we, but, I am number 4 of 9.
Yes.
So, big crew. Big families are fun.
We've been looking through pictures, and it's just amazing how fast it all goes. You guys were all just babies not that long ago. Now my babies are having babies.
I'm not. Jess said, with writing strands intermediate 1s, you need the teacher's guide.
Yes, we recommend the teacher companion for all of them. I think you don't need it. It's just very helpful, and everybody who's bought it has said, wow, this is great. No matter what course I use, this has been just a helpful tool to have.
Yeah. Christy said, will there be no vendor table at the Teach 'em Diligently Atlanta convention? Is that one still?
That one is still scheduled, Christy, so we're just kind of watching it. I know Teach 'em Diligently is still committed to it, and I think Israel Wayne is still scheduled to go there and run the booth, so we will see.
Awesome. And Vanderlei said, hey guys, Master Books has been such a blessing to our family. My son has many learning impairments and has had less struggles and hard days this year. Thank you. You have made homeschooling so much easier for us, and the kids retain more. Thank you.
That's awesome.
We are also thankful for you.
Yes, we are.
We appreciate everybody who engages into the app and into Facebook and letting us be a part of, like we said, we feel like we're your friends. So we appreciate you letting us be a part of your lives. And
well, since we moved to Arkansas, they pretty much are.
You are our only friends. You and the cows.
Which, by the way, the neighbor got some beautiful cows. They're brindle, and they're absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, so this question people have asked. Yes, they are gorgeous. People have asked. There were a few people who checked up on this because we never, I guess, followed up, and because they're our friends, they want to know.
Okay.
Teresa said, "I love the way the app has given us a community. I didn't hear the details about the cranberry."
The
The
cranberry.
cranberry.
Okay.
No, the cranberry. About the grand baby. That's the New York Italian in me. Everybody is healthy? Question mark.
Oh,
Do you have a picture?
Do I have a picture?
We want to show everybody a picture of the baby.
Do I have a picture? I think I do have a picture. Let me just see if I got a picture.
When will
While you're talking, I'm
Yeah.
going to find a picture.
Okay, a bunch of people sending hearts. Sarah would like to know when the USA Geography will be available. Did I see that that's getting close? That's very zoomed out, but everybody say, aww. I'm going to show the app people a little bit more.
So that is our grandbaby number 6.
Yes.
Hazel.
The oldest
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. It's Hazel. The reason I'm picking is because my other granddaughter I was talking to at lunch, and she wouldn't look at me, so I kept calling her the wrong name.
You have a hard enough time with names.
Oh, yeah.
That was...
It's Hazel with a hard H.
Well, plus I feel like Hazel. They do have like some complicated, not complicated names, but unique names.
All of my grandkids.
Like it's Gideon, Micah, Brighton, Liberty, Ella, and Hazel.
Yeah. Try to say those all fast.
And he can't even keep his own kids' names straight, let alone the grandkids. So.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from earlier. I love the gentle approach to learning found in the elementary books, but in looking at high school curriculum samples, it seems pretty rigorous. Do you find this to be the case?
Yes. Yeah, we believe in a gentle approach, and so, but I don't think it's overwhelming, and I don't think that it's as rigorous as, I don't think it's as tedious as other curriculums. It may be rigorous, but I don't think it's as tedious, and I think that it's more of an applied learling, so it's very applicable. That all flowed.
Good job.
Applicable to the...
Applicable. Okay.
Applicable.
Mm-hmm. I think we just killed.
We just butchered it 2 different ways. This sounds right both ways to me. And nobody can tell us what it is, because either way it's going to be spelled the same. Mm-hmm. Applicable.
Well, yeah, just what's applicable. Do you even remember what's applicable anymore?
Yes, the knowledge that you're learning in the high school courses. So yeah, I would say that it is a little bit more rigorous than what you're going to see in the elementary levels.
Yeah. Vicky Williams said, "Hi, Master Books. Nice blouse."
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I had said that Vicky was the standard before, so Vicky's still the standard. There was something else I wanted to read. Okay, Christy asked how Kristen is doing, but while he's explaining how Kristen is doing, we'd love to know how you are doing, Christy. Let us know in the comments, because we also want to know how you're doing.
Yes.
How's Kristen doing?
Kristen's doing well. Last week she had treatment, but she's doing well. She's got to finish. She goes through treatments through July, but I think we reported here that she did have a mammogram, and it reported that there was no cancer seen, and so that's phenomenal. That's exciting. Yeah. Again, you guys are awesome. Homeschoolers, right? I believe that we all, let me just say, we all in the homeschool community have a special place in God's heart. I really do believe that. I think that He sees the sacrifices that you're making. And because of that, if there's a prayer request, I absolutely want you guys to be the ones who's praying. Sometimes it all gets muddy when you have to run businesses and try to serve a community and everything else, but there's just connections in a market. And we see the prayer requests that come in, and we take those seriously and pray for your families. And when you guys have lifted us up in prayer, and your love and concern has meant the world to us. And so the Lord has done miracles this last year. He really did. And He is alive and able, and a God worthy of all praise. No matter what the results were, He is a God who is able and worthy of praise. Mm-hmm. But in this case, He certainly did. I'm humbled by His grace.
Amen.
Christy.
Yes, she said, "Praise the Lord, I'm doing well, thank you for asking." We are glad you're doing well.
Yes.
Sarah asked, when will the U.S. Geography be available, and is it formatted like my story?
No, U.S. Geography will be available. I think the books have already been uploaded to printers overseas, and the teacher guide, I'm not sure where that is, but the whole project is expected to be available in this summer, which would probably be July, beginning of August. And it is set up more like like World Cultures and Geography, World Geography and Cultures. It's more that format. It's not my story. It's more the upper elementary course format. Has Passport and Atlas, and then a teacher guide.
Nice. I'm going to kind of rapid fire through some of the app questions or app comments.
Okay.
SLB for God said, "We are just finishing our first homeschool our first year homeschooling. Next year I will be doing 4 of my kids. 2 are preschoolers, 1 kindergarten, and 1 second grader. I'm so glad I was introduced to Master Books. My son has changed and grown so much since we pulled him from public school in October.
Yay! That's awesome. Those are the reports that drive us.
Yeah, and I know people during our other live streams, like people comment that stuff all the time, and we don't always, like, it's not kind of as laid back as today maybe, and we don't read through all the comments, but we do read every comment that comes in and everything you guys are posting, even if we don't engage with it, and it does mean a lot.
Yes.
Beatrice said, "Hi, is there a Spanish-speaking group in the app? I would like to host one if it's okay."
Let us consider that, and can you email that? The email is moms@masterbooks.com. That's the only email I can think of right at the moment. But maybe if you could email that, and Jessica maybe can make sure Anna gets it. Let us. We'll think seriously about that. When you email that request to us, would you also let us know, like, the number of Spanish-speaking homeschoolers that you would anticipate? Appreciate that.
I'm just reading through all the comments. Okay, M. Vanderloo said, "I briefly read something about Master Books merch, Master Books co-op. Is there any info on that? Do we have any insider scoop?"
Merch, I think. Well, actually, we had to get some designs out to a t-shirt manufacturer. I don't know if you guys know Caruso. You'd recognize their t-shirts.
Family doesn't know Caruso. I mean, any Christian publishing company, or not, like,
they sell t-shirts in Walmart. The Christian t-shirts that you would see in Walmart. They're actually about 20 minutes from here. Their manufacturing plant is right next door to us. So we're looking at maybe having some merch available that for Master Books and Master Books Academy. Master Books Academy is online, kind of a virtual co-op, if you will, and that we're targeting to launch with the first few courses. Probably July 1st is the date that I committed to Tim, my boss, and said I intend to have this for that. You're probably not going to see, like, courses with teachers right there teaching the course and grading and all of that, because that's not really what Master Books is about. But what you will see is courses that have video instruction, maybe teacher-led instruction in the course. That would, like, a great course would be My Story. When you really get My Story and the way that it was meant to be used, it's phenomenal. But sometimes it's hard to understand the paradigm. So just to have a very simple guided instruction that you could follow to help remove those friction points and kind of enhance the course experience is what we're looking for. So each of our courses, like, we just know there are certain courses that are like, you know, if we were sitting with you kind of explaining this is what you do here, or maybe the first course is actually our Principles of Math 1, Principles of Math 2, and then Algebra 2 will have a video course as well. And we use those courses right now with Principles of Math and absolutely love them. They're perfect. But the grading and all of that is still the responsibility is ours, and we love that approach.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two things, I would expect to see something on that this year.
Hello to Susan Finney. We are so excited you're here. She said, "I am new, so excuse the lack of knowledge. Can you go anywhere to look at Master Books, like a store?" 1, that is a great question. 2, he has your answer.
The best place to go to look at it would be Mardell, if you have a Mardell. Mardell is kind of owned by the Hobby Lobby family, and usually if there's a Hobby Lobby in an area, they have a Mardell store next to it. Usually they're more Midwest, Southern Midwest. That would be one location. Some bookstores have them. It really depends on if the bookstore has a homeschool section or not. Outside of that, conventions is a great place to see product. If we're not at a convention and Rainbow Resources is, they usually have our product, or at least some of our product. So
Yeah. She asked too, is there a spot online to see the teacher's books, like for math? So on the website, on masterbooks.com, you can preview all of the books that we have available. You go to the product page, and then right underneath the image of the cover, there's a spot for placement tests or product covers. We're getting a few questions about the app. I'm assuming we'll kind of do a more in-depth Q&A or video on that a little bit later.
Okay. The video conference, the virtual conference, Sarah Ashley asked, that's actually a Teach Them Diligently conference.
You can probably still register.
Yeah, I don't know about the registration. I only know about the vendor side. But teachthemdiligently.net, I think, is their address.
Yes.
Any quick questions on the app we can do?
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of read through. We're mostly just
you're
doing
looking,
live
I'll
questions.
look through.
Does the Origins of Life clearly teach that creation is the origin of life and prove that evolution is not, or does it present both cases and the student must decide? This one's mine. I got this one. This was my favorite course. It's so... I got excited.
I can tell.
When I get excited, I talk with my hands. It's the New Yorker in me, the Italian. Yeah, so the scientist basically took a bet from his college, I think it was his college buddies, to prove evolution wrong. So he started off as an evolutionist, and he goes on this journey to try and prove evolution wrong. So it presents both sides of things, and it just finds all of his findings in trying to prove, he's trying to prove evolution correct. Sorry. And so through trying to prove it right, he actually found it to be wrong, but it presents it in a way that he gives the information for the student to bake. I get so
it's
excited.
Not a cooking
course.
It is not a cooking course.
I'm so wow. Okay, to make their own decisions.
Yes.
Wow, I'm just gonna let you answer things now.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer. Yes.
I'm just not gonna talk.
The Origins book, which is living fossils, what that basically does is, throughout an evolutionist, they say, oh, these fossils existed, in this time period. Well, there's fossils that we see in those time period, but the animals are alive today. So that doesn't make any sense. And it shows case after case of these fossils that they say were billions of years ago, but we see proof of them today. And then the other is the Grand Experiment. So it was written actually to be able to be used for teachers who believe in creation in public school. So they can present, here's creation, here's the way a creationist believes, here's what an evolutionist believes, here's the evidence. It's pretty clear. The evidence points to the fallacies of evolution and the truth of God's Word. So it is, by the time you walk away, you have a stronger faith in creation.
For sure, but he does it in such a good way of letting the student, giving the information to the student to make their own choice and letting them know that is a choice they have to make for themselves.
What I like about that course, especially for high school students, is that they're going to encounter these things. And so my high school curriculum was a Christian curriculum that I took in school. It taught all creation, didn't teach anything on the fallacies of evolution, right? It was just believe God did it in 7 days and this is what he did and it's all good. The problem was my first year of college or second year of college, you start having professors just tear that apart and you have no defense. So I believe that students coming out of Master Book Science are well versed in the issues but have a very strong worldview. I think that was really just a good way of saying it. Well versed in the issue, but
yes, good job. Heather Anderson said, which course is this and what level? It is the Life Science, Origins, and Scientific Theory.
Yes.
You can kind of see it.
Somebody else asked if Master Books Academy was going to be just for parents. No, it's more for the student, but there will be parent instruction and that included in it.
They also asked if it would be just for per student or if it would be a family.
Yeah.
Which one? There were two options.
We have to kind of work that out. Have to work it out.
Carrie Bailey said, it's all good, Brittany, you did good, thank you. Because, I don't know what happened. I got so excited and my tongue just went... Bleh.
You had your moment to
I had
shine.
my moment to shine and I failed. Okay, it happens.
It does happen. I know.
I
It
put
happens to
myself
me
out there
all
to
the time.
fail, so I'm proud of myself for that.
Hey, maybe you'll get your
I
own
got
gift.
a trophy. No, a GIF. Sarah sent me a trophy. At least I hope that trophy was for me.
Maybe
Because
you'll
you
get a hands
gift. Me, Mario. That's what I think of when. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That trophy is mine. I claim it. Okay. What age or grade is it appropriate to start grading students? That is from Naomi.
Well, okay, so you're the teacher. You can give grades anytime, right? I mean, you decide what's grade worthy. You decide your grade standard. Do you feel that they put everything they had into it and did an exceptional job? There's an A. Did they do maybe above average? They put a little bit more into it, above average, or maybe moderately average? B. Are they average? Did they just kind of go through the motions, gave me what I needed, but really didn't put much into it? There's a C. Did they basically just put something on page because they needed to, but didn't, like they could, their potential is so much more? There's a D. Did they just completely blow it off or not know the material? There's an F. I think it's kind of, if grading is necessary, I think you determine the grades and you determine the way that would go. If it's not necessary, like I'm learning all the time and nobody's grading me. So I'm learning about virtual learning and e-schools and platforms, and I'm not really getting a grade. So I don't know that grades are necessarily all part of life, but sometimes we do need grades to put on transcripts and things like that. And I think you can certainly have your own grade system in there. Others that are watching, what age do you feel is appropriate to start recording grades or giving students grades? Post the age that you think is the best age for her to start grading.
Rachel said, could you use the evolution living fossils with the younger ages, 8 or 10, or is it better to wait? My eldest is so interested in knowing how to defend creation. I was taught specifically creation, so I really think this is a brilliant course to have. I may just have to take it myself.
What I would recommend is buy the books. If Anna is still watching, I know she loves the books and has loved reading the books. You don't have to take it as a course to learn and engage it. So it's great when you're doing it as a transcript to have the proof that the student is doing the work and has invested themselves.
Do it as a morning basket. You could even just buy the student book as a morning basket and just work through, not the student book, it's like the reading book itself.
Yes.
Yeah, that it would be.
Yep.
And then Laura Wisman said, my daughter heard you talking about that course during the Virtual Master Books booth video, Brittany, and she asked me to order the second life science course book so she can read them. I ordered them on Tuesday. I'm going to read them too. Just from what I've heard, your daughter sounds super cool and super smart. And I think if it's a daughter I'm thinking of, because I think she posted a picture the other day starting high school. She's super pretty too. So.
Wow, you just gave like all kinds of affirmation.
Good affirmation. Well,
that was awesome.
They're our friends. I gotta let them know. All of you have really beautiful children.
Yeah. Man.
Like, it's crazy, these pictures that y'all post. But I remember seeing her specifically. I'm not sure why. I think it's because you had mentioned she was looking at high school science, and then I saw that, and she is very pretty. Also, that trophy was mine, so thank you, Sarah. I appreciate the trophies. Our friend from Ireland.
Of course you get trophies. You're a millennial.
That's like one of the first trophies I've ever gotten. All of the trophies are for you.
I'm Generation X. We're supposed to fight over trophies.
Well, if you'd like my trophy, I will give you my trophy.
I don't want your trophy, no.
I'll have a jewel in my crown in heaven. Stephanie said, will the co-op include the younger grades, as we are lone homeschoolers in Ireland, and I want my first grader to know he is not alone.
Yes. Yep. We're looking at, eventually we'll expand it to as many courses as possible. Plus there's a social media component to it. We just don't know yet how that all plays out.
I was reading through all the grading
There's
suggestions.
a trophy.
Oh,
for me.
Sarah gave a trophy. Thank you. So I don't have to share my trophy. And thank you, Melissa, for my trophy as well. This is our first year. This is from Emily. Emily said, this is our first year. Jack is in first grade and Ellie will be doing stepping stones. Our books just arrived and we are so excited. Is there a recommended routine or order of subjects we should follow each day? For instance, language arts, then social studies, etc. Or does it just depend on the student?
Well, okay. I think it really depends on what works. If it works to have a schedule and your student does better to say, hey, every day we're going to start with math. Personally, you guys always had freedom. They always had a goal chart, kind of, and it says, here's every day what needs to be done in math, language, social studies, science, and elective. Here's how many pages need done. You figure it out. I mean, there's a lot of freedom, actually. School starts at 9, so that it puts you in the mind mode of school. But other than that...
School starts at 9. We weren't allowed to watch TV or play video games or anything like that until after 2 or 3 it was.
When your schoolwork was done.
We had certain breaks. So at 10:30 we got a 15 to 20 minute break. At 12 we got a half-hour break, and at 1:30 we got a 15-minute break. So there was a bit of structure, but within that we were allowed to do our subjects as we wanted. And then, like we had talked about the other day, just like we had to be caught up on our schoolwork in order to do things like youth group and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
So there was structure in that sense, but then they gave us the flexibility to kind of work at things.
School is kind of like work for us. It's like you go to work, you do what you've got to do, and then you earn the right to everything else. Right. Lindsay's asking about audiobooks. Lindsay, probably not audiobooks necessarily, but in the Master Books Academy, we're looking at having it where you would be able to listen to the books being narrated. So if that was an issue, you could enroll in the course, say for America's Story, and listen to, of course these are down the road, but you would be able to listen to the reading of that to go along with it.
Laura Wisma said, yes, she just started high school. Thank you. She looks up to you, Brittany. Thank you for being such a wonderful role model. I just want to say, Laura Wiersma all the time she's our words of affirmation.
She is a huge
She makes me
affirmation
melt
person.
all the time. We appreciate you and the Wiersma family so much. You also, it's Laura Wiersma's son he's in the monkey outfit in the catalog, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He is adorable. Okay, a lot of people jumping in and saying how they grade things. Bethany said, I would like to switch our English from learning language arts through literature 4th grade level to master books, but I'm not sure what we should do. So for 4th grade level, what is your suggestion?
I would do the placement test for language lessons for a living education. There's a readiness guide test online. I would go with that. Yeah. And see what you see.
Jessica asks, are there any plans for a book to learn about our body, health, and nutrition for younger kids? Also, maybe feelings on how to handle them in a biblical way. I love master books and would love these resources from you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen proposals, but I haven't seen it make it anywhere past Tim's desk yet. So it's out there as a need. Health curriculums. We would love to have a Christian-based health curriculum, even that addresses some sensitive topics, that does it from a Christian perspective. Because let's face it, you can't watch anything now, even Hallmark. We used to have Hallmark bonding time. You can't even watch Hallmark now, and without having to try to figure out how to change the channel or explain yourself, I guess.
Explain yourself. Mary asks, what would you suggest for an 8th grade boy coming from 7th grade ACE PACES? Probably checking out the 8th grade.
The 8th grade basic set. Yeah. Was it basic 4, right?
Yeah, the basic 4.
Check out the basic 4 subject set. That would probably be the starting place. For math, you just want to look at the readiness test. I would do the readiness test for sure for the principles of mathematics. And don't be afraid if it suggests going into principles of math 1, or maybe he's ready for algebra, whatever that would recommend. And then you most likely would be going into the writing strands, and so I would look at the readiness test for that as well.
Awesome. I'm loving the recipes in Simply K and Math K. Do the books for older students also include recipes related to what the student is studying? And that is from Natalie.
Natalie, it's not. It's more course dependent if the author put it in. It's not necessarily everyone.
But okay, today I'm working on some stuff, and my work.
You goofball.
What?
You squealed.
I did because so I was doing my work project, and I had to go through them. I'm having to work through the math teaching companion for this project, and I realized that all of these recipes from the math lessons course are within the teacher guide. And I got more excited because of the pictures, and that's what my excitement was, is that I knew that they were in there to a certain extent, but then I just started looking at the recipe pictures, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. So, the math teaching companion has more recipes and stuff in it from all of the levels of
everything.
Math.
Yeah.
Not just Math K, but it's got everything. That was my...
Any plans for a music curriculum? Again, it's one of those that are we'd love to. We don't have any proposals for it, and we're really heavily focused still on the core and solidifying the core. What do you suggest for math after Algebra 2? I believe those Kate and her husband will be working on another solution possibly after Algebra 2, or we're looking also at a consumer math or a business math that could be used.
Yeah. Okay. This was a conversation that went down within the Facebook post. I think it's good. Lacey said, my kids really enjoy learning through song. Example, we look up songs on YouTube for Bible memory work and grammar concepts. It would be awesome if Masterbooks could publish a CD or even YouTube videos with a song to memory work. My youngest also loves all of your band motion suggestions and Simply K and Adventures in Creation. To which Ariel said, I bet there are some talented kids at Masterbooks who could come up with videos like you're talking about. It would be like Science with Delaney, but for Bible and grammar. And Ariel said, my kids might be interested. The one is always making up a new jingle to help him memorize. So what I would suggest, and then you can confirm or deny, is Delaney. We found Delaney because her mom, Georgia, posted a video of her science experiment into the Moms of Master Books page, and it was we really enjoyed it and thought that would be something that y'all would enjoy as well. So I think if you are interested in something like that, then post your kids making up their jingles to the memory work that is in the courses.
Yes.
And then if that's something that we find is a big enough need, we could definitely start a YouTube channel.
Yes.
With that.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Yeah, when you post in Master Books, in the Moms of Master Books page, you have the eyeballs of the company. We are all connected. There's editors, there's authors, the president, the CIO, all of us in marketing. We're all very connected. We recognize your names. When we're packing orders in the warehouse in the summer, we'll all go down and help to keep things going. It's I know these.
Well, was
I know
it Carrie
them.
Bailey before she was a moderator? We would be like, oh, Carrie's ordering again this week.
Yeah.
And to the point where we put a note in her thing about how much we appreciated her, and we're glad that she was enjoying Master Books.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Even we'll get letters and stuff too. Some of the kids will write Master Books, and we share it, pass it all around the office so everybody gets a chance to see, and then we put it up in the break room and everything. So we're all very connected to everything that's going on, and we appreciate it.
We have a devotions every Wednesday, and sometimes we'll give updates. If children have been accepted Jesus into their hearts, we'll do a praise report of just how excited we are. Ink on paper to impact eternity is the goal here. And so when we hear that we made some difference in helping a family communicate the gospel to their child, and their child's heart was receptive and they received, man, we are that's exciting.
You said y'all, true Southerners now.
You are. Absolutely. Y'all,
I said
y'all
a bunch of times, and I need to stop and repent of my sins. Amy said, just wanted to say how much we love Master Books. Just finished up More Than Words for the day and moving on to Life Science for Beginners and Simply K. We are having a late school day. Love the fun learning curriculums. Thanks for everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy.
Another question. With all the encouragement to teach a child at their level and not worry so much about what is grade level they are on, what is the purpose of testing? Is it more for the parents' reassurance? Is there an age recommendation? Are there certain scenarios where you would recommend it and others where you would not?
Okay, testing is more for your own peace of mind, right? We live in a society that still compares the performance of homeschool children to public or private school children. And just to see where they are on grade, maybe to see where their strengths are, their weaknesses. It's an assessment, and what you do with it is up to you, unless you're in a state that requires it. New York State requires testing, and so you actually have to test. I don't know if it was every year, but we did test every year and submit the records. Other states also require testing, so it really, the purpose can depend. I think it's great. We have a number of people who are using master books and they're like, I don't know if my kids are learning, and yet, we're excited, we're talking about it, it's a game changer, and so we encourage them, well then go test, see what the test says. And they were shocked to find that their kids were doing well or above where they expected them to be. And so my recommendation, why we got the 5% coupon, what's the coupon? If somebody remembers the coupon code in the website, I've just drawn a complete blank. I'd appreciate that. But one of the things is that people carry all this anxiety about how are my kids doing? I don't know, and they're stressed. So test them, face your fear, step into the fear. Worst case, you find out that they're a year or two behind, right? You just like, oh my goodness, I don't know how this happened. So then we address it. We just begin working on it. Ignorance doesn't help solve a problem. It really doesn't. It just makes problems worse. So testing isn't the end all. I think it's just a way, awesome to star pupils. Jessica and Libby knew it right away.
What he's talking about is the coupon code is all caps first CAT.
Yes.
First CAT.
At Academic Excellence. They have the CAT testing, and so you could do that, get 5% off the testing, and it's only $20-something or $30 to go online and do the test. And just, I'd say another thing that it does is, in my lifetime, I've had to take tests. When I sold insurance, I had to take a securities test on computer. When I did real estate, I had to take testing. There's just different things that you have to be prepared to take testing.
I'm horrible at test taking. It stresses me out really bad, but there are going to be stressful situations in life where you're under pressure, you're under the clock, you have to get it done, and you have to know your stuff. So
yeah,
they're good.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that they order a lot, so not to comment how much they order, but Carrie Bailey said that, Joy, which is my little sister, wrote me notes saying, you rock, and then when she would order again, she'd write, you still rock, on the box.
Joy, that's the reason why now there's notes in the packages.
Yeah, Joy used to write everybody a note on their box.
Yeah,
it was super cute.
But it was taking so long because she was like, every box that went out of here, she had to put a note on for everybody.
And write everything. From the app, Free and TR would like to know, would some of the moderators consider doing a Master Books Day in the life? I know every home is different, but it's a great way to share practical tips and tricks and get a realistic idea of what a day is like for different families.
Yeah, we could approach the moderators. I won't volunteer them.
Like we did last week.
Like I did last time. Libby stepped up to the plate and did an excellent job.
She did incredible.
Yeah.
Aniston asked, will there ever be a human anatomy for beginners course? My son will be entering 3rd this fall and really wants to study the human body. However, I worry the anatomy course for 4 through 6 currently would be over his head.
Yeah, probably won't be a beginner's course. My recommendation, buy the books, buy the elementary anatomy books, and allow the student to just enjoy them. You don't use it as reading time or something in that nature.
Jessica said that her and Liberty, I can't talk today. They deserve a trophy, each of them. So here's your trophy, and here's your trophy, Libby.
Here's your applause. Yay.
We'll high five for you.
There you go.
That was for Libby. This is for Jessica.
That was
a sad.
That was weak. There we go.
We really did. I cannot talk today. We redid it for you, Jessica.
There
when
we
I
go.
get excited, I talk fast and my tongue doesn't work. Jessica said it's $5 off.
That's not social distancing.
Sorry, I'll talk this way. Jessica said that it's $5 off, not 5%, and then she did an all caps laugh out loud at you, not at me.
Oh, isn't she? We have a question in the app by Jess.
I have one last one from the previous, our original, and then we'll jump back to that. Christina asked, are there any other options for social studies for a first grader besides My Story 1?
No, I don't think so. I mean, those were designed, and again, those are designed more as brief overviews. We're just touching on them. You're looking at finding it. They're not memorization type courses. They're just opening up their world to think about things a little bit different.
Okay, I'm trying to find that one by Jess.
I think Amy's shop is actually a day in the life in our house. There's a horrified look and then a volunteer hand. Is that what I see? A hand going like that by Amy?
No, oh yeah. I was like, wait, she volunteered for that? No, she just did a bunch of crazy faces. Thank you for volunteering, Amy. Okay, Jess said, Randy, I have a question for you. How do you deal with unsupportive family members that don't support homeschooling? I recently dealt with this from one of our family members.
Not too many people want to confront me on homeschooling. Would you agree?
I would agree.
We were once in...
Do you know the Randy rants? Have you ever seen a Randy rant? Well, it gets elevated a little bit. It's like, he doesn't get angry or anything, but
intense.
Passion. No, not intense. It's passion, and it burns. And like a dragon, leave the dragon be. Otherwise, you get fire. And it's good fire. It's passionate.
Yeah. We were once in a hardware store, and his family... He was on the fence. His wife wanted to homeschool, but he just didn't. He wanted his daughters to play sports and different things. And man, I filleted him. And we walked out, and my son goes, well, there's another friend we'll never see again. But they started homeschooling, and I think they're glad they did. So, okay, what would I say to an unsupportive family member? Well, some depends on the family member, but one of the things that we've said as a family is, listen, I have to steward the things that are given to me. My children, the Lord has given me my children, and I steward the raising of my children. And I believe, as the Lord gives us that, He has an expectation in how we perform. I tell people often, on the day of judgment, when I stand before the Lord and I give account for the work that I've done and the performance that I've done, if I fail my children, if I fail and I haven't given it everything I have before the Lord, not one of them is going to come and stand up and say, you know what, I told them not to homeschool. I'm willing to accept responsibility for the failure in Randy's life. They're not going to do that. They're not going to pay that price. And because of that, I want to perform in such a way, and I'm accountable to the Lord only. I'm not accountable to them and what they think. So from that aspect, I believe that homeschooling has the proof. Academically, homeschool students are superior. Socially, homeschool students are superior. Emotional intelligence. As citizens in the country, like all the studies that have been done by Brian Ray showed that homeschool students excelled in every area. If you ever go to a homeschool convention, you see the students that are homeschooled, you're just like, oh my goodness, look at the caliber of students. And we've seen it over the years of the fruits. So we've been involved in homeschooling for over 25 years. We've seen a lot of families that have graduated their students. You just can't convince us that there's a better way. You just can't. And you certainly can't convince me that sending them to the public school is going to be a better way. I think you need to kind of get your buzzwords down a little bit, right? There's kind of the showstoppers, like socialization. So what, you think I should put my kids in classrooms where they're horizontally socialized with students all their own age, and then they get moved up every year according to that? Not my kids. My kids are vertically socialized. They can interact with young kids, they can interact with kids their own age, and they can interact with adults or grandparents because we vertically socialize for the real world. So socialization is really kind of a crazy concept, and you've been brainwashed. Thankfully, my family is not brainwashed the way that you have been brainwashed. If you're talking about academics, my goodness, like we have a 1-to-1 or a, 5-to-1, maybe you could say, teacher to student ratio. We tailor the education to meet the needs of the student rather than trying to force feed them through a system that was designed for the average. My students are above average. Sometimes they're above average academically, sometimes they're above average socially, sometimes they take after me and they're above average in beauty. Any way you look at it, I could see you twitch a little bit because you took after me in beauty. No, you got. Sometimes they take after their mom in beauty, and so, for me, I have different buzzwords. I know the arguments. I used to fly all the time, and when I'd be on the plane and I'd say, "Yeah, we homeschool," and they'd give me their debate, and so we'd spend a couple of hours debating about why homeschooling was superior. And this was back in the day when it really probably wasn't as accepted as it is today. But family member is one of the biggest friction points in homeschooling. I have seen families where the child was begging to be homeschooled, where the parents had a desire and felt the Lord was leading them to be homeschooled, where grandparents and parents stepped in and said, if you do that, we'll withdraw support from your family. We are embarrassed if you homeschool. And they put so much pressure on the family that the families refused to homeschool. And then what we saw was the kids knew they were entering a time of trouble and they couldn't fight it. And they were begging for help. That grandparent that stood in the way forced that child into that situation. So in those places, when the Lord is leading someone to just say, the Lord has called us to this, I'm accountable to Him, and we're going to obey Him and trust Him in this. I respect you and I respect your opinion, but you need to do the same for me. And in this, you need to trust me, because not one of them will take credit for being responsible when your student struggles because of what they're exposed to in another way. So,
good job on your Randy rant. Somebody said that they love your Randy rants and Trump talks.
Trump talks.
He's pulled it back a little bit.
I haven't been watching as many of the Trump updates, so I haven't been doing
words,
as much of the
he
words.
hasn't been using words.
Oh, yeah.
It's 4 o'clock already.
Really?
Time flies when you're
fun.
hanging out with your friends.
It does.
Should we wrap
We
her
got
up?
anything else, Brave?
I mean, there were so many comments coming in. Maybe just a little bit of encouragement to Random Girl. We'll wrap it up with this. Random Girl said, I was trying to talk my BFF into homeschooling her son who wasn't doing good in school before CBD. She said he hates school and was bored. I think Master Books would be perfect because he could have his choice of different things to fill his interest, but she's convinced that she is not equipped to homeschool. Some encouragement to her friend to wrap up the video.
Well, I would approach that a couple of ways, and depending on your friend and the relationship you have with her. But here's what I would say. Number one, do you believe that God knows what He's doing? Do you believe that He is sovereign and that He is capable? If you do you believe that He placed your child in your life for a purpose? If He did, He says to the parents, train them up in the way they should go. We don't see anywhere in the creation story. It's not on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, or anywhere after in the Gospels where He said God created school. It's not there. It says He created them, parents, male and female, and they were to go forth, populate, multiply, and fill the earth, and parents are given the command to train their children. He doesn't show us that He modeled school in any of it. And so if we believe that God knows enough that He knew their name before her son, before He formed the world, He knew his name, but He also chose her as His mother, then He also knew that his mother was capable of doing what was necessary to train her son. today, curriculums and curriculum companies are going over and above to help provide tools that she doesn't have to do a lot. I mean, if you really are just intimidated beyond belief, there's computerized programs. There's programs like Master Books. There's systematic programs that are easy to step into. If it's a I don't think I can do this, there is support and there are the tools and there's mentors that will help. So from that standpoint, I think sometimes those are great excuses. Is there any other underlying fears? Maybe it's that fear of saying I'm going to homeschool and what will people think of me? That's a big one, and we don't always want to say that, but if I homeschool, my mother-in-law it's just going to cause all kinds of tension. I can't even imagine what Thanksgiving would be like, right? Or what about ball games? My kids love ball games, and I like being a soccer mom. Looks like the app might have gone down, so we'll finish it up. But those would be a couple of ways that I would approach that question. So
awesome.
Good.
That was a good answer.
Yeah. So good.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time, and we do appreciate serving you. It's an honor and a privilege to be part of your homeschool journey and part of your students' stories.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, hey, we will talk to you next Tuesday. And next Tuesday at 3, we are going to be continuing with Carrie Bailey. We're going to talk about Simply K and Math K combined, the two of those. We got kind of cut off last week. And so I wanted to bring her back and just talk about how to implement Math K into Simply K. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you later.